All right. I was not planning on making this video. I was in a dark room, hoodie on, transitioning from Wix to Bubble to create my platform. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Anthony. I'm a real estate agent in Miami, soon to be Atlanta as well. And I'm creating my own tech platform using no code / low code, but now I'm transitioning mainly to no code. I want to apologize. I have not been creating content, especially not videos. The past couple months have been crazy. My dad passed away. Was not expecting that going into this year. He was only 50 years old, and I already lost my mom and I lost my grandmother. So I've been trying to figure that stuff out, and also trying to maneuver building out my platform. So I'm just minding my own business in the middle of learning how to use Bubble to be able to move quickly when it comes to building out new features in my app, because I create everything. I'm a humble flex. I've spent the last 4 years learning how to build using no code and low code tools. And I needed to transition to a platform where I can create using no code. And Bubble was a very tough platform to learn, even though it's no code. But I was finding myself diving too deep into trying to learn how to use code and learn it. And I don't think coding is going to be a thing in the future, just like I don't know about agents. So today, if you've not been aware, a lot of agents haven't even been paying attention to this. I've been watching this for a long time. This has been going on for a few years. And I remember I used to teach a class and I told agents about this and they brushed it off. And now we're here. So on Halloween, which is perfect, not perfect, but it's fitting. It is very scary for real estate agents and brokers. Quick overview. I don't know all the specifics. I did write a blog about it, but pretty much there's 2 lawsuits actually, but the lawsuit that came to a verdict today, this one has been in trial for some time. I believe the other lawsuit is going to be going to trial next year, early next year, I believe. So pretty much, if you don't know about this lawsuit, some home sellers were suing the NAR and a couple of top brokerages. I don't know the specifics because they're pretty much saying that they colluded in regards to commission. I'm not going to speak to that because I don't know. I do know that brokers, and I used to go to classes, they used to always say to never, when it came to commission, to never discount it, would try to beat us over the head, which I used to fight back on a lot in my head on when it came to commissions. Because in my opinion, seeing how agents work, some agents, well, there's good agents and there's very qualified agents that do a really good job. And that, to me, that numbers don't mean anything. You can sell a lot and still have a mediocre service, or your service might be stuck in the 90s. And I can go on a tangent about how I believe this whole thing is the brokers and the MLS's fault. And I think that but I know that this is just opening a floodgate when it comes to tech being this very disruptive in real estate. I want to apologize. I have not been creating content, especially not videos. The past couple months have been crazy. My dad passed away. Was not expecting that going into this year. He was only 50 years old, and I already lost my mom and I lost my grandmother. So I've been trying to figure that stuff out, and also trying to maneuver building out my platform while not really working in real estate, which I missed my chance, did I, as far as buyers? But that's the reason why I have not been posting content. I have content that's, older content that I just have not posted. But I will be creating content, and I'm not saying shortly after this. I'm still processing, and I do have a trip next week, but that's why I have not been creating content. But back to the topic at hand. So pretty much sellers are suing the NAR and these top brokerages because they feel that they shouldn't have been paying for the buyer's agent. So the way it works is the seller hires the real estate agent, right? And then the real estate agent puts it on the MLS. Now, we can't put a listing on the MLS, at least in Miami. You can't put the listing on the MLS unless you're paying the buyer agent commission, unless you're splitting your commission. And I've always wanted to know, I just didn't want to come off shady Do I have to split my whole commission with the buyer's agent? Because I have had a lot of experiences with agents where they're terrible, especially in Miami. It's too easy to get a real estate license. People don't take the craft seriously. It's just a quick way to get money. And it's very annoying dealing with real estate agents. And that's like to me, the biggest pain point is working with other real estate agents and sometimes the title companies and the mortgage companies and the associations and stuff like that. But I was always wondering, like, why do I have to split my commission? Why is it this way? Or like, why can't I say, hey, tell my seller, my client, listen, my commission is 2.5%. You can decide on what you want to pay if you want to pay a buyer's agent. I can tell you why it's beneficial to give a percentage to the buyer's agent, and I could tell you why it's a con to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have that option. You know what I'm saying? You just had to split your commission. So the sellers feel like they shouldn't have to pay the buyer's agent commission, and they're not wrong. I do not believe that they're wrong at all. You know what I'm saying? That they're hiring an agent for a service. Why do they have to split? They're pretty much paying somebody to lowball them on their offer, give them a lower price. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? This is common sense. It seems weird, but it was just a standard. So they're fighting that. This is what the fight is about. And there's other things like the lockbox rules. And I also saw that some brokerage or MLSs allow agents to do a search based off of commissions, which is crazy. Now, I understand nobody wants to work for free. I've done it. It does not feel good. But that is crazy. At the end of the day, I understand I'm a real estate agent. I understand there's a lot of real estate agents and we want to work and get paid. But that doesn't benefit the buyer. Doesn't benefit the seller as well. If you got agents doing a search based off of commission. Now, my super transparent opinion on this is that it's not 1980. It's not 1990. We're not walking around with an MLS book like they did back in the days. The consumer is finding the property. What is the agent doing? Opening the doors. And that has been slowly getting chipped away at. If I get too, this is all like just grouping into one thing, tech disruption. There already have been, like if you look at Redfin or if you look at Zillow, there's already signs of agents just getting paid a salary or a specific set amount of money to open up a door. For now, with AI and robots, that won't even be needed. So I'd never thought, I'm being transparent with y'all, that I didn't understand why the commission never changed. The industry changed. The buyer is finding the property online, right? The agent is there. We do a lot. But when it comes to finding, the buyer's already finding it by themselves. What do they have to jump through hoops for? The people aspect of it. And again, I don't want to get too deep into that. You know what I'm saying? That's another topic that is we can have a full-blown conversation about that. But overall, the industry changed. It's not the 90s. The way that we transact already is completely different from how it was back in the days. We don't walk around with an MLS book. So why is the commission the same? Why is the structure the same? You know what I'm saying? This had to change. Now, my opinion in regards to what's going to happen next, I just got an email from the NAR saying that they're going to appeal. They're going to lose. The jurors are probably sellers. They're consumers. They're not going to. I knew this was going to be it. It had to happen. You know what I'm saying? So what I see happening is I want you guys to see my setup through the monitor. I do see that, for one, we're going to get rid of a lot of real estate agents, which is definitely necessary. There's so many agents, not only because I'm not a top producing agent at all. You know what I'm saying? I've been becoming this tech person, to be honest, I'm trying to get ready for this moment. But there's just not it ain't about production. It's about the agent. You know what I'm saying? It's about being tech savvy and offering the best experience for your client. And I used to teach tech to agents, and they would just weren't tech savvy. And it's, you not being tech savvy is doing your client a disservice, because you're not helping them save money. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're more tech savvy, then you can lower your prices. You know what I'm saying? If you're automating certain things, if you're creating an actual experience like these tech companies are doing. And that's where I started to build my own platform, because I think like a tech company. I know I've worked with buyers, sellers, renters, and landlords. I know all the nuances in Miami when it comes to selling, buying, or renting a condo. And I took my knowledge and I put that into the platform that I'm creating to make it more seamless and transparent as much as I can do, because there's a lot of other things that in play. It's a lot of politics when it comes to the way that real estate is done. I can only do so much. So I see, this is why I used to be with Keller Williams. Keller Williams had a great idea of how real estate was going to look with an agent. And the reason why I left was because they just weren't delivering. Building a tech company is difficult. I'm doing it by myself, and I can understand why it was so difficult, why it's so difficult for any company. But they weren't delivering. But they had a perfect outlook on how it would look with a real estate agent. I'm going to come back to that. Zillow has bought every aspect in real estate. From the mortgage, they bought a mortgage company years ago. They just bought a title company not too long ago. We use Dotloop, which is a digital transaction platform. Bought that years ago. Showing Time was the most popular showing platform for agents. Bought that. I knew it was real because I'm a part of a real estate photography and videography group. And this is just photographers. Once I saw that they were upset with Zillow, I was like, yeah, it's a wrap. Zillow is buying every aspect of real estate to be ready for this moment here, right here. Zillow is going to become the Amazon for real in real estate. They've been taking money from agents, and agents, brokerages, the MLSs have empowered Zillow to completely disrupt and get rid of and disband real estate agents and brokerages. I'm not even saying just us, everything, because they understand what the consumer wants. They focus on the consumer. What do the brokerages focus on? The agents, the commissions. They don't focus on the consumer experience. And I'm getting upset because it's frustrating to see how much money these brokerages and the NAR and the MLSs have been making. Like, I got to pay $1,000 to the association just to use the MLS. And it's hundreds and thousands of agents paying that. And what did they do? They gave all the data to these companies, didn't build out any consumer-facing products that meant anything. They had Realtor.com, sold that, and they didn't do anything to streamline or make the process more transparent. They did not innovate and cut prices themselves. They did not look at, hey, the buyer is doing this. They don't really need an agent to find properties. Now, again, I'm not sitting here saying that agents are not helpful when it comes to finding properties, because I am saying that because the main point of an issue of buying a property and where it's friction is because another agent, the listing agent, didn't update the listing, doesn't answer their phone, doesn't have listing instructions. I can go on and so forth for all the issues in real estate. And this is all I think that this lawsuit is going to flash a spotlight on it, and it's going to make it a big, I've been working on my platform. It might not hit. You know what I'm saying? Zillow might just completely take over everything. I don't think it's going to happen overnight, because Zillow is still making money off of agents, and they're going to continue to do that up until they don't have to. And they probably don't have to now. And I already got some theories about what Zillow's going to do. I just shared a little bit about what they bought, what they're going to do with all that. Gary Keller said a lot of things in the past that I agree with, and then I can even add on to it. So with Zillow buying all these companies, They already have the consumer. They already have the buyers. They already have everyone. I go on Zillow. Everybody goes on Zillow. They're probably going to be the go-to. It's going to be the MLS might be going and Zillow might be it. And then we have to pay every agent will have to pay Zillow. I can see that happening first because Zillow will make more money doing that. And then slowly just get all the listings and then say, all right, we're good. So Zillow how I think what's going to happen is Zillow, companies like Zillow, Redfin is already doing this where I believe that the agent is on salary. They're going to become employees. I think agents are going to stick around for some time. Certain agents, great agents, good agents are going to stick around and they're going to be salaried. They're going to be more advisors. They're not going to be the center of the transaction anymore. Why? Because Zillow and these tech companies, they have the process. And that's why I've been focusing on creating my process and automating certain things because the consumer, the process, the experience is what they're going to subscribe with. That's what they're going to hire. Can you make this process easier and help me save money and make the most money and find the property that I'm looking for, right? Because that's what you hire a real estate agent. And side note, what I always thought about tech companies, because when it comes to tech companies, they always tend to say that they're cutting out the middleman or cutting someone out. And it's funny as hell because they are just becoming the middleman. Like the app is not just an app. The app is an actual company with people. So they're now the middleman. You get what I'm saying? So I always thought it was funny how tech companies like to say that they're cutting somebody out just so that now you're the middleman. And so that's how I feel like the tech companies, the agent is going to be pretty much just an employee. Now, going back to what Keller Williams was doing was that they were giving us the tools, the same tools that Zillow has, where we had the property management. We had the mortgage company. I don't know if they ever bought a title company. We had the app. And when I was with Keller Williams, I remember them saying, if we have every aspect of the business, if this time was to come, the agent would get paid elsewhere. But I don't know if they're in that position. I'm not with Keller Williams. I haven't seen any big news with them. But I know other brokerages. I think Compass has bought a title company and maybe a mortgage company. I'm not too sure about that. But you're going to see some real estate companies, they've supposed to have been becoming tech companies for a while, but they never really became tech companies in my opinion. Or they did, but they focused too much on the agent. They should have focused more on the consumer. Focusing on the agent is focusing on the consumer from a brokerage perspective, but a tech company focuses on the consumer. And I just didn't see that from Keller Williams. Not bashing Keller Williams. I love Keller Williams. I had to make a decision. And again, this goes into all of this. I decided to go with a broker where I can get paid 100% of my commission so I can be competitive with my commissions. Because when you're with these big companies, you're giving them 30, 20% of your commission. And what are you getting back? You get what I'm saying? Like, I was with Keller Williams for the tech. And when the tech really wasn't producing, I'm like, what am I here for? I need to be competitive with Zillow. I don't think I need to be competitive with Coldwell Banker. You know what I'm saying? I need to be able to compete with where the consumer is going. I need to be able to have a great consumer experience. So I think that if they were able to, and if they still have a chance to do it, where they had it to where the agent had the tech and they were empowering the agent to become the tech company. In my opinion, that's how I took it. I thought that Keller Williams was giving me the power to become a tech company. And that's why when I left, I just decided to build my own thing. And I've been bumping my head up. So this is much needed. Let's be real. This is needed. This is needed. A lot of industries need this. I think the health, the hospitals, and this medical industry needs to get disrupted as well, man. And it's a lot of industries need to get disrupted, but this is a big deal. A lot of agents are going to be out of business. We're going to see some changes, some necessary changes. I do think, however, that these companies, the mortgage companies and these real estate brokerages will come together and do something. They'll figure something out where, because a buyer is not going to pay for an agent out of their pocket. They will, but not what they're getting. We're not 3%. Absolutely not. They might get like a flat rate. And I can definitely see with luxury, because people, higher end people with higher budgets, not saying higher end people, higher end budgets tend to, those customers typically don't have the time to be doing certain things. Luxury might not take as much of a hit. At worst case, like not worst case, but bare minimum, sellers are going to save a lot of money. And with this lawsuit, the first one so far, $1.7 billion has to be paid back to sellers. I think it's a certain year. I'll put that in the description once I post this, but excuse me. Since a certain year, sellers are supposed to be, it's a class action lawsuit. Some sellers are going to be getting some money back again. The NAR just got an email saying they're appealing. They're not going to win. Let's just be honest. They're just buying some more time. But yeah, real estate 2.0 is here. Real estate as we know it is done. It is dead, and it needs to be dead. Even if I don't have a career anymore, which I'm very confident that this is a perfect storm for me as well. I just need to hurry up and make this transition to the new platform. But this had to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is, and we're going to see what happens, how this plays out. But this is going to be interesting, and it's like a perfect storm. This lawsuit was a perfect storm in the middle of tech and it's everything. So again, if you're watching this, thank you for watching. I will be putting out more content. I apologize. This year has been a very difficult year for me. And on top of that, I am building my platform and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm learning as I go, and doing all this stuff takes a lot of time and a lot of brain power. And when you got a lot of stuff going on, it's difficult to do that. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.